Let's talk about drips campaigns. One of the things that is super powerful with emails is drip campaigns. And if you're not familiar with drip campaign is, it's essentially something that happens automatically. So you're setting up some automation, and this is what autoresponders are really great at doing. Is you can do what's called one-off emails or broadcasts, or you can do what's called a drip campaign, which is essentially just a set of emails that are sent out. And what makes them so powerful is that you can kind of set it up once and you can funnel all your people through it. And you constantly, it's always there, always going on without you having to constantly looking at it. That's really what a drip sequence is. And so the reason for it is to essentially nurturing your leads, and it can be different things from different places within your funnel. And so the most common one is right when people opt in, and it's usually a welcome sequence of some sort. A lot of times in your lead magnet, your first email is the email delivering on whatever your promise was on that page, which has to go out right away. And so what it does though is that first sequence is where everything happens, is where you start building the relationship. You start diving deeper into who you are, what the company's about, and what you offer. And it really starts to create trust between you and the prospect that came through your list. And so that's really where you're going to be want to make sure that you are spending a lot of time making something really good with that, because you do it right, all of a sudden they go through that sequence and then they are either going to be completely turned off, or they're going to be very active and interested to learn more from you. And that's really what you're looking for. And so um, that's mainly what it is. But there's other ones as well. So other email sequences are like abandoned cart sequences, different offers sequences, different things that they're interested in different lead magnets you may be looking at. So there's all these different campaigns, and you can go from one campaign to another as well, depending upon how you want to architect and how people go along and what's in your customer journey, for example. But the biggest thing to get done first, if you haven't done any of them, is the welcome sequence, because that's where you get everything started. And then from there, you can either have a longer one, or you can switch to something different, or even just go on to your day-to-day emails that you sent out every week. So it just depends on how you're going to do it. There really is no one way you have to do it. There's different good things to do, but then there's other ideas as well. Also, is it's going to set the pace for how you're going to, what kind of email cadence you're going to have. So you're going to email them every day. You're going to email them every other day, twice, 3 times a week, or however you're going to do that. That's when you're going to really set the pace with that. And you can set the boundaries with that too, especially with your welcome emails. It's like the first few emails, everybody's expecting, a pretty timely, daily email, which then you can then decide, well, okay, now I'm going to stretch it out, or I'm going to keep it on a day-to-day, daily email. And it really depends on your market. Though I know most markets can handle a daily email as long as you set the expectations from that and they're interesting. So if it's just a bunch of, very boring garbage, then likely you won't have good engagement from there. And then you can, depending upon how your engagement is, you can change it as well. So that's really what you want to focus on. Depending upon your audience, you want to be able to look at that. So once you have that all set up, you now want to see, like, how is it performing? And the biggest thing to look at first is your open rates. Obviously, we always talk about open rates. The higher your open rates, the better your engagements will be, and then you can kind of work your way down. So first of all, always work on your open rates. Because that's how people open. And so, your welcome email, how many people are opening, that should be like your highest one. It should almost be 100%, because like they're opting in to get something from you So they're expecting it from there. And then from there, seeing how your opt-in rates operate from there. If you're having one that's like going way lower than the other, then you can start to say, well, maybe I should change up the opt-in rate. The second thing is, once you feel like your opt-in rates are pretty good, but your click rates aren't so good, look at what your CTAs are and see what they are in there and why aren't they clicking, and then kind of operate how that may be helpful for you as well. And that's what you're gonna optimize that. And the third is sales. How many sales are you getting through? And you want to see how you can best optimize that. So one thing about optimization, though, you need to make sure you have enough leads to be able to make that are making consistent sales and are opening. So the issue is if you have less than 100 opens, or less than 100 clicks, or less than 100 sales in each of those categories, you really shouldn't be touching anything yet. If you have 0 after a while and you think you should have gotten it, then you can start to look at, okay, maybe I need to look at that later. But a lot of times what happens, everybody gets into this hyper optimization mode where it's like, as soon as I have an email going out, I need to check my stats every 12 hours and make sure that what they're performing at. You can check them, but don't look at what the actual stats are. It normally takes about 48 hours for you to see your stats. So just keep that in mind when you're optimizing, because I've seen that a lot where a lot of entrepreneurs get into this mode like, I want you to check every 3 hours what this is doing so we can optimize. And if you had enough traffic to do that, you could, but likely most people don't. And so that's where it is. So, get your drip campaign out, make it fun, interesting, talk about yourself and the company, depending upon what niche you're in. You can talk about either or both. It depends on if it's more of a lifestyle business. It's about, the company is, you're the figurehead and things like that. Yeah. Talk about yourself, talk about more personal things. People buy from people, and they feel like they buy from personal companies as well. So if you can kind of weave in a personal aspect from it, people will more likely want to buy from you and start to connect with you. That's why I see a lot of people have really successful emails are all people that have they're a front-facing type of person. Now, I know many people are on email lists that I've never seen them, but I like the way they're write. So it doesn't mean you actually have to be in a video, but it would be good if you had a picture of yourself and you had just wrote things that were personal, not too personal necessarily, but things that are important to you is why you formed the company. Then that's really going to convert really well in a drip campaign, especially for getting started. And then if you're doing something like an add to cart or abandoned cart type of opt-in, those are more product based and finding different things. They may have been interested, but they're not sure about it. They want more information, so that's how you get them more information that way as well. But really get into drip campaigns. Learn whatever autoresponder you're using, how to use them. Normally they're pretty straightforward. If you find that it's too complicated a lot of times, one, you can either reach out to me, of course, or you can reach out to someone on Fiverr to help you, or you can just look at switching. Sometimes more different autoresponders are a lot easier to work with than others. Some integrate better with others. So it depends on what you're using and how you're using it. Maybe or more interesting. So that's where you can ask me. I'm happy to help. I've used a lot of different autoresponders, different areas, and so I can be helpful as well. Or if you're just want to go into some other community that you're part of, ask there too. And you can go on Fiverr as well to find people that do that kind of stuff, because a lot of it is pretty straightforward. You're not coding, you're just automating. And as long as they have your emails and you know how to edit them, and they're just getting them in the right spot, that's really what you're looking for. So again, start with your first drip campaign. Get your welcome email out there, welcome sequence. It's probably good to at least do 5 emails and get them just set up, and just do them every day and see how they do, and then go from there. But it's really important that you get that done, and it will really help you in the long run. So, just get it out there. It won't be perfect, but don't worry about that. And as you're writing them too, don't worry about writing them in the autoresponder right away. Write them in a Google Doc or whatever, Word or whatever is most comfortable for you. Write the email separate from that, because what happens a lot of times, everybody tries to write them in the autoresponder, and then it becomes you're dealing with tech on top of just writing, and so it's easier just to do it outside. So hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you next time.